All right.
Hey, well, welcome. Glad to see you all. And we hope to have a very, very informative and powerful talk for you today.
So today we're going to be focusing on the struggles that a lot of us face as we build our business, and especially when we're new to the business. There's always challenges, and how do we overcome those?
And for those of you that have been in the business for a while, you'll know that nothing comes free. Nothing worth having in life comes free. And this is no different. Greatness in this, success, comes with a cost. And that cost is we typically have to face our own limitations. Like we run up against where we stop. And that is the challenge. And that also is the reward, because when we push through that, or when we go around it, or when we adapt to it, or somehow embrace it, we become bigger people.
Yeah, so oftentimes our relationship with struggle and challenge is that we don't want it in our lives, right? So we have this thing where we almost despise what actually causes us to grow. So changing the way we see struggle, the way that we see challenge, is going to be hugely, hugely helpful as we go forward. And one of the ways that, for me, I like to look at the challenges and the struggles that we come up against is that they're natural rites of passage to the success that lies on the other side, whatever that success looks like for you. And this is not just in this business. This applies to life, right? I mean, we have struggles, we have challenges in our life. And if we can see them as beneficial, as, you know, these are causing us to grow, these are causing us to become more of who we really are. They're wonderful gifts, even though they may not feel like it in the moment.
Yeah, I can share a story that happened to us early in our career. We had been working very, very hard to build teams. And we had several teams, and it was really coming along nicely. And guess what? At some point, the president of the company, the marketing vice president, our 4 or 5 of our top leaders, and our upline all left overnight.
And took almost our entire team with them.
Talk about a growth opportunity, right? So it brought up for us a lot of things. Fear, like, can we do this? Can we handle this? Resentment, like, how dare they? How could they do this to us? We were friends. Confusion, like, what do we do now? And how do we do it? And a sense of helplessness, like, this is so big. Maybe it's just not worth facing up to. But see, that's part of the beauty of the growth opportunity. Because guess what happened out of that? We had to dig very deeply into ourselves, because at this point, this was our full-time income. This was our full-time career. We had to dig very deeply into our essence and say, are we committed to this industry? Are we committed to this path? Are we committed to this business, this team? Are we committed to ourselves having this in our lives? And that's not an easy question to answer positively in the face of what looked like a mass betrayal, it was an exodus for sure, but it looked like we were getting abused, ripped off, whatever you want to call it. It was horrible. And to answer that question, yes, this is important, this is worth doing, this is worth facing and engaging with, and finding a new way to be with it. And the answer is yes. Well, of course, looking at it as a growth opportunity in that moment was challenging. But what it revealed was that, for me, I truly love this industry. I love this team. I love the people I'm working with. I love what we're doing and how we're doing it. And it's worth doing. And no matter what it takes, we're going to make it work. And so there it is, growth opportunity. Without that, I would say that certainly I would not be the same person, but I would not be the same leader. I would not have the inner strength to meet other challenges. See, here's the thing about life. Nobody gets out of here without challenges. Each of us experience loss, betrayal, pain, fear, suffering. We all experience it. Nobody doesn't have it. So guess what? Knowing that, we might as well get good at how we handle it, right?
Absolutely. And so we had to decide. We had to make a choice. Do we start again? Because we had been working basically 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for like 3 years at this point. You know, our whole life had been directed to build our business and share these wonderful products with people. And suddenly it was all gone. Well, not quite all gone, almost all gone. So, you know, when people come into network marketing, they don't always have to go through something so huge, right? But they do have to realize that this is no different from life. Most people, they've had a job, right? And they know what it's like to be an employee. It's a very different thing here. You know, people have successes in life, right? We're all successful at something, whether it's raising kids, whether it's, you know, being a good employee, whether it's being a good, you know, church member, whatever it is, we have places in our lives where we see ourselves as kind of successful. Yeah, I did that. That feels good. And what happens unknowingly, I think, is that we tend to have a connection to all these things that we were successful with in our life. We don't want to let those go. And so unconsciously, there's a thread that connects us to all those places where we've been successful in life. And when we come to something like network marketing, which is a whole new ballgame for most people, then oftentimes what happens is that people think, you know, they go back to those successes, you know, and they look at network marketing and say, well, this looks pretty easy, you know, all I've got to do is sign up a few people and I get all this money. I can do this. This is a no-brainer, you know, this is fine. And it's actually not like that. You know, this is different. This requires us to take ourselves and our thinking to a whole new level.
So there's a saying, it says, change your thinking, change your life. And it's absolutely true. The strategies that helped us, as Krista said, that helped us in school, maybe military, maybe a job, maybe a family, maybe whatever, those strategies are not necessarily going to translate to something new. They might, and they're good experiences and bring all that you can. But to become successful, we have to change our thinking. Even in the same thing, whether it's a family or a job or a career, we have to change our thinking to change our life. If we keep doing the same thing with the same thinking, we're going to get the same result. Now, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're assuming that you're listening to this today because you want more success. You want more enthusiasm. You want more experience in life. You want a greater, deeper, richer experience of how it works. And to do this, I know I have to unpack, or like a snake shedding the skin, I have to actually move out of my old self and emerge into something new.
And so all of us here are here because we want to share this with other people, right? I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be here. And so new people are going to be exposed to this through us. And if we look at, you know, the employee thing that I was just talking about, people come in with expectations, and we ourselves have our own expectations too. They don't go away. And so one of the things I think that's really important for us as sponsors of people, of new people, is to make sure that people's expectations are realistic. If we look at the employee thing again, people come in with an employee mindset, right? And so, it's so funny. People work a job for 20 years, and they will work usually a minimum of 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And at the end of that 20 years, they're still broke or just getting by. Most people are just getting by. And yet people will come into this business and think that, they can do a couple hours a day kind of thing. And in 3 months, if they haven't made $1 gazillion, then it doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't really make sense in a lot of ways.
They say it takes 2,000 to 10,000 hours to learn something new. And if you think about 2,000 hours, that's at least a year's worth of work at 40 hours a week times 52 weeks, right? So it takes a year to learn how to do something well. Now, I'm not talking about learning how to open and close a book. I'm talking about a new skill. If you want to be a woodworker or a seamstress or a barber or something, it's going to take at least a year of full-time work. So it's no different here. This is a different industry. It's something new and unique. And as Krista's saying, sometimes, and I know I'm guilty of this, I have unrealistic expectations. And part of my duty or my job or my responsibility to you, if I brought you into this business, is to say, okay, what are your dreams? What are your goals? How much can you commit to the project? And most people are somewhat realistic. Some people underestimate their success, but occasionally I'll get people who say, yeah, I can put in 2 hours a week and $100 a month. And I want to make 5,000 a month, but in 6 months. And I go, well, that's possible. Anything's possible, but it's not probable. What's probable is that you'll start like most people, a little bit here, a little bit there. You have to learn how things work, but also you have to give it time. It has to mature and develop. It has to grow. People that you bring in have to start and learn and develop and grow. And their people have to start and learn. And all this takes time. It just does. And you have to bring in a sufficient number of people that because truth is, not everybody's going to jump in and build a big business. You have to bring in enough people so that enough of them actually do something. So those are realistic expectations. The unrealistic expectations are, guess what? A recipe for pain. Right. The recipe for disappointment, the recipe for resignation and upset.
Yeah. So what we really have to learn here is to develop what we call an entrepreneurial mindset. And this is very different to an employee mindset. People are used to, when they have a job, they're used to trading what we call trading time for dollars, right? So people work 10 hours, they get paid for 10 hours. And without this entrepreneurial mindset, people can get really disillusioned because they come here and they'll work 10 hours, but they don't get paid for 10 hours. And so they'll turn around and say, oh, this doesn't work. When in actual fact, we are creating a business, not a job. And they're very different things. I mean, in some ways, we need to treat it like a job, but it's not a job. This is an entrepreneurial business. We're creating residual income, not linear income, residual income. We're creating an asset for our future. And, like any business, most people understand that in what we call the straight business world, if you start a business doing anything, hairdressing or whatever you want to do. It takes 2 to 3 years to break even and to start making a profit. It takes 5 to 10 years for a business to be deemed successful. So why would it be any different here? We are building a business. We're building something that is going to give us satisfaction. It's going to give us so much more than just what a linear income can give us.
And some of the things it can give us is a full-time income when we're only working part-time. And what I mean by that is, as the power of your network grows, you can generate an enormous amount of income to yourself and still be working either part-time or full-time, but still be working the same hours. See, early on, it's a funny thing. Krista talked about a break-even point, okay? Here we have no overhead. The only thing we've got to do is pay for our phone, perhaps, but we have to buy our products and use them. But really, there's no overhead. So our break-even point is very, very low. Unlike a traditional brick and mortar business where you've got rent, you've got wages, you've got taxes, you've got inventory, you've got advertising, you've got legal, you've got on and on and on, okay? Huge amount of things you've got to pay for before you make a penny, before you make any money. All that's got to be paid for. Here, it's a very low threshold. Once you get your products for free, that's great. The moment you make anything above that, you're in profit. Now, that said, an employee will think, I work 5 hours, as Krista said, I work 10 hours, I want to get paid for 10 hours. That's fine. Some of the things that we develop as an employee do apply here, like discipline and perseverance and accountability and being on time and being responsible. Those things are great. We can bring that with us. But the mindset of, I work this much, I'm going to get paid this much, not only is unrealistic, but it's a limitation. Because I figured out the other day how much I make an hour. So when I first started, I was making $0 an hour in this business, right? Because I had no downline, I had no income. But now I'm making an extraordinary amount of money per hour, whether I work or not, because of the power of leverage. Because these businesses grow like this. They grow slow, slow, slow. They look slow, 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 and then they go wham. Okay, they go. So here you might be making very, very, very little, but you're maybe, let's just say for purpose of this conversation, you're working 10 hours a week. Okay, that's fine. But when your income goes like this, you're still only working 10 hours a week. You got it? You don't have to increase the number of hours you're working, but your income can massively increase. So you might be making, let's just say $10 an hour here, but here you're making 100 or 1,000 an hour. You see, that's very different than a traditional business. And not only that, but in a traditional business, when as an employee, when you're working, as Krista said, at the end, you end up with nothing. You may have a pension that you funded and partially funded by your employer, but you don't end up with any kind of a residual income per se. And even in a traditional business, if you're in a profession like a hairdresser or a lawyer, or a dentist, the moment you stop working, your income stops there too. This is different. What you're building here is an asset that can be sold, willed to your children, inherited, or you can just enjoy that income for the rest of your natural life. So the mindset has to be that I'm responsible for it all. As an employee, if something goes wrong, I get paid anyway. But as a business owner, if something goes wrong, it's me. If my income's not where I want it to be, it's me. If something doesn't work or somebody leaves or is upset, it's me. It comes back to me. That's a very different mindset. It's a powerful mindset for life, not just for this business.
So we have to create new habits. We have to create a new way of thinking. And we also have to create new habits. Unless we're used to being our own boss, unless we're used to having our own business and running it from home, then we have to become very disciplined. We have to develop a strong sense of discipline. We have to create a template for working. Like, we have to get up in the morning and know what we're going to be doing today. So we need a plan of action. We need a whole bunch of things in place in order for this to work. And like Michael said, it's up to me. I have to do this. I have to develop the discipline. I have to reach out to other people. I'm the one that has to know, what I have to do each day. I have to make my plan, my to-do list. Now, we have team members, we have upline, we have other people. This is not a one-man show, even though it's up to me. This is a team effort, and we are part of a team. And so in order for all this to happen, we need to be working with what we usually call a mentor or our upline sponsor, or somebody who has done this before and can guide you along the path.
See, Krista mentioned a couple of things that are important, and I want to emphasize these. There's a couple of things you can bring from your life. If you've had a family and you're responsible for children, it's about commitment. You're totally 100% committed to their well-being. You'll do anything to make sure that they're well. Well, your business, in a sense, has to be held like this too. Because if I'm casual about my business, it's probably not going to work. But when I'm 100% committed to it, it has a much higher chance of working. So that's one thing. You want to look at your commitment to your business. And if you don't have that yet, you want to develop that. And the easiest way to develop it is by creating your dream, creating what you want out of it, and then creating, as Krista said, a plan to get there, and then engaging with your success team, the people that brought you in and the people in your team, and together strategizing and committing to that goal. And as you commit to your goal, you, in addition, commit to everybody else's goals, and then we work as a team, and it's way more powerful than me doing it by myself. The other thing I want to mention is persistence. Persistence is what it's going to take to get through this. Again, with children or with a family or something that you value, you have to be consistent and persistent. It's not enough to just be great one day. We got to show up every day and do the best we can, right? And our business is the same way, especially until it gets to that place where I said where it takes off. Once it takes off, yeah, we can back off a little bit and we can have some other things in our lives, but we still have to be committed to it, and we still have to be consistent and persist in keeping it alive and keeping it guided properly. And the third thing Krista mentioned was getting a mentor or a coach. And this is so important because in this business, I guarantee you will fail. If you don't fail, you're not risking enough. The bigger you fail, the better. People might think, oh no, I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail big. Well, guess what? The faster you fail big, the faster you can get to your goal. Because nobody that I know is born into this. We don't know. We have to learn it all. And to learn, guess what? We got to make mistakes. Now, the trick is to learn from those mistakes the first time. If we have to make the same mistake again and again, it gets to be a very expensive education. So fail often, fail fast, and learn from it. Now, there's another way to become successful, and that's the path of wisdom. So the path of learning by failure and by pain, and that's fine. But the path of wisdom is a much faster and easier way to go. That involves, guess what? Finding somebody who's already as successful as you want to be and allowing them to bring you along, allowing them to coach you and guide you and encourage you and help keep you inside the rails. That's the path of wisdom. And that's the way to get to the top the fastest.
And I look back on when I first started doing this, one of the things that I really struggled with was low self-esteem and no confidence at all, zero. And I often say that the biggest gift I have gotten from doing this business and being in this industry and being with this company is who I've become in this process. The me that's sitting here now is not the me that started 25 years ago. And I've been with this company almost 25 years. And so one of the things that we have often said is this business will grow as fast as you grow. And so a big part of what we've been talking about, facing the challenges, overcoming the struggles, is to commit not just to the business and not just to doing daily actions and being willing to reach out to people, being willing to share these wonderful products and opportunity that we have, but also a commitment to ourselves, to our own personal development. We have to do our inner work. We have to be willing to change. One of the things I know is nobody gets successful in this business without changing. It just doesn't happen. We have to move to the next level of being in order to have the next level of success here.
And what Chris was talking about, really, I mean, I'm going to use some words here, and I hope you interpret them in a way that's empowering to you. This is a spiritual journey. And what I mean by that is it's not just a journey of doing things. I mean, it can be that, and it can be very successful with that. But the most powerful way to do this is with a commitment to our betterment, to our unfolding as human beings, to becoming more of what makes us noble, more compassion, more generosity, more willingness to stretch and become a better person, more willingness to engage with other people with an open hand and a full heart. And taken in this thing, the rewards here are tremendous. They're way beyond the money. The money is so important in life, right? We all know this. That's not news. And there's a huge amount of money available here to those that are willing to work. And as Krista said, put in the time, put in the discipline, put in the hours, learn from others, develop new habits, develop new ways of thinking, commit, and be persistent. There's an enormous amount of money here. However, in addition to that, there are some things that are what we call intangibles, but actually are more important to most of us. Mm-hmm. There's the dynamic, powerful, committed relationships that we develop with each other. The kind of relationships that last a lifetime, that go beyond business, that are deep, deep friendships. There's the power of being able to develop new skills that we might not have naturally, like skills of communication skills.
Leadership skills,
business literacy skills, emotional literacy skills, skills in negotiation and cooperation, skills in being able to visualize and create things in our lives that we want, skills of empowering others and committing and helping them get what they want. Skills of being able to take a breakdown, take a suffering, take a struggle, as we're talking about, and turn it into gold, turn it into an opportunity, turn it into something valuable and meaningful in our lives.
And skills of being able to support others through the same journey. That's huge.
So these are the things that come in addition. They come in addition to the money and the business skills and the growth and the pride of ownership, of looking at something and say, yeah, I had a piece of that. And having a lifetime income and having a community of people that also have lifetime incomes. So, we're not the only ones who won the lottery. We all get to participate in that. And for a lot of us, other than the most recent past, we love to travel, and there's opportunities here to travel and to be with others and go to some exciting places and do fun things.
And not to mention the extraordinary health benefits. I mean, that almost goes without saying. Consume these products, and my goodness, you have a quality of life that is amazing.
So when you take all of this, or whatever part resonates with you, and put it together, I hope you can appreciate that this is a journey with heart. It's a path that has a wonderful be here now, but also the destination is whatever you want. It's your heart's desire. It's your dream. And dreams are possible here. And they're not only just like our dreams, but it's the dreams of the people we're with, and it's the dreams of our community. And it's our ability to work together to get our dream and each other's dreams and our community dreams. It's possible here. There's so much power in this network. My main concern for a lot of people is we dream too small. You see, because if you could have anything, why would you choose something small or timid or weak? Why not go for the big one? Why not go for what your heart's desire truly is? Because it happens here. The power is here. It's not like you have to wait for something to show up. It's here. The question is, are we bold enough? Are we willing enough? Are we courageous enough? Or on the other hand, are we just sick and tired of not having it? Are we willing to put it out there and go for it? Because the skills are here. We can help you with all the mechanical pieces. We help each other. There are people who have had tremendous success and know the direct answer to any question you might have. And the beautiful thing is, these same people, including us, are looking for answers from you, from each of you, because we don't have the answers either. We don't have all of them. So there it is. What a wonderful opportunity. So here's a question I'd like to leave you with. What is your heart's desire? If you could have it any way you wanted, anything you want, what would you want? What do you want to go for? And then when you have the answer or part of the answer to that, are you willing to put it on the line and bring it here and let us help you go for it?
Absolutely. I think that's a great place to end.
So thank you. Thank you for your listening. Thanks for your participation. And we wish you all the success that you deserve. So we'll close on this and take some questions after.